Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy.
You are listening to Phantasm Podcast.
Hey, this is Trevor Sternad.
Ryan is back from the Black Dahlia murder.
Tom Gabriel Warrior. Eric Green from Simple Tour.
Ross Dolan from Immolation.
We are Gorgasm.
Ismail from Crater.
RNC of Body Count.
Terrence from Suffocation.
Phantasm Podcast.
Join your hosts Corey Gorchrist and Dr. Vincent West for exclusive interviews with the sickest bands in metal and more. Head over to cultopphantasm.com, the only gravesite for all things horror and death metal. No filler, all killer.
Sell the metal! Sell the metal! Sell the metal! Sell the metal!
What the fuck is up, and welcome to the Phantasm Podcast. I am Corey Gorchrist. With me, as always,
Dr. Vincent West.
What's going on, man?
it's going. We're back to Tubi, the old Tubi app, for this very special 100th episode of Phantasm Podcast. We have finally made it, and it feels pretty good, even though I feel like in 5 years we're probably way ahead of that, but this is the 100th episode. And the film we got, I'm really excited to watch this because I've surprisingly just never seen this movie. It's one of the Doctor's choice cuts, one of his favorite films. What do we got?
We were watching The Horror Show with Bryon James and Lance Henriksen from 1989.
Come on, Janky. It's checkout time.
Nobody's going to miss Max Janky, especially Detective Lucas McCarthy.
Glad you could make it, cop.
He was born bad and stayed that way. Nobody's going to miss Max Janky.
We sent 50,000 volts of juice through that scum. Looks pretty dead to me, Professor.
Because he hasn't gone anywhere.
Lucas, I'm coming back to tear your world apart.
You're dreaming.
I thought you were dead.
Damn it, Vinny, you scared me. I love you.
Vinny,
No!
I told you I'd be back. If you thought Freddy was a howl,
Funny thing happened to me on the way to the studio today.
and Jason was a scream,
I got a present for you.
wait till you meet Max.
Not even close.
He's a cut above the rest. The Horror Show.
This is just the beginning.
A lot of things about this film, it's pretty cool. And you are also listening to The Horror Show, the 100th episode. It's produced by Sean S. Cunningham. It's directed by James Isaac, who famously, did creature work on Return of the Jedi and Gremlins and shit. But he also directed a movie that it's one of the Doctor's other favorites, which is Jason X, which we did during our 100 episode tenure. So that is Max Cavalera on that one, and that one's a lot of fun as well. But there's some crazy parallels about this movie.
That was back when Travis Tritt was our producer.
Yeah, old Travis Tritt. We got Lance Henriksen and Bryon James. Who could ask for a better pairing of that? This was actually supposed to be House 3, but they said because those other two movies were pretty comedic that this wouldn't have fit with it. But in Europe, it was billed as House 3, the horror show. And as you see there...
Just did the music, it's your boy.
Yep, Matt Fredini did the music for this. Another Sean S. Cunningham boy there. Harry's a really sweet man and one of the coolest people I ever met. And very, very nice dude. Get a little backstory to this. Get you some plots here. Detective Lucas McCarthy, which is Lance Henriksen, finally catches serial killer Max Meat Cleaver Max Genke, which is Bryon James, and watches his execution. McCarthy is shocked to see the electric chair physically burn Max before he finally dies, promising revenge. Max has made a deal with the devil to frame Lucas for his murder from beyond the grave. He scares McCarthy's family, who moved into a new house, and parapsychologist Peter Campbell, which is Thom Bray. Thom Bray was in Prince of Darkness, I think, right before this movie, and he was in Prowler also. Yeah, and Deep Star 6, I think he was in too, which is another another James Isaac film, which I wanted to say.
Also, Dr. West classic.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say Jason Isaac, but that's not what I'm trying to do here.
So here's the whole thing, and let's talk about that just real briefly. So, another controversy. It's very interesting. So, Deep Star 6, same director was watching horror show.
Yeah.
A lot of people said Leviathan, Deep Star 6. There's a whole controversy about that. Just like this picture that we're watching, there's controversy between horror show and Shocker. Now,
yeah, which it seemed like the plot as soon as I was.
I personally like all four of those films.
Yeah.
But I have to be honest with you. If you're gonna put a gun to my head on Shocker and Horror Show, I love them both. Can't pick one. On Leviathan and Deep Star 6, I'm Deep Star 6 all day long.
Yeah.
And if you guys have been looking for Deep Star 6 on Blu-ray, it actually came out last year, and you can get that from Kino Lorber directly, or you can get it from Amazon.
Yeah. There's Lance there. I love that dude. Some backstory on this House 3 thing. According to Sundance Cunningham, the film was going to be named House 3, but the new distributor, MGM, wanted a fresh start with potential new series with the new iconic villain. So the script was modified to reflect the new approach, and it was retitled The Horror Show for U.S. theatrical release, while the title House 3 was maintained for the non-U.S. market. Bryon James said that this role of Max was his favorite that he's ever done. It was one of three films in 1989-1990 that had a storyline involving an executed serial killer coming back to life and stalking people. The other two films were Shocker and The First Power.
Okay, let's talk about that a second. The First Power, another amazing fucking movie. Lou Diamond Phillips. I highly recommend that. That's another one. And let me actually check and see if that still exists real quick. Corey, I'm not trying to interrupt you. Just trying to nerd out here.
No, you're good.
Saw all three of those films with my buddy Matt. We had skipped school. We used to skip school and go to the movies. You know, because I'd rather see a horror movie than listen to some asshole trying to teach me about something.
Yeah. I'm there with you on that.
Let's see here. So, First Power is...
It says, part of a cycle of horror films about murderers coming back from the dead after execution in the electric chair, which is Prison 1987, Destroyer 1988, and Shocker 1989 were also included in this trend. So you gotta figure, you know, what came first in that situation.
The First Power is out of money.
There you go.
Sucks.
Go to eBay, ladies and gents. Bryon James was doubled by Kane Hodder for several stunt pieces in this film, so that's pretty rad. Another James Isaac, parallel there, because he later did Jason X with Kane Hodder. Also, the whole Sean S. Cunningham thing and Harry Manfredini. There's a huge Friday the 13th kind of subtlety to this whole thing. Before they even really knew it was around there, you know. So that's pretty awesome. James Isaac took over as director of the film after original choice David Blythe was fired shortly after production began. We'll have to see what that was about.
And I have this Blu-ray, and it's going for $80 on it.
The horror show?
No, First Power.
First Power. $80. Let's see. Writer Alan Warner decided not to have his name featured on the credits, so he opted for the universal pseudonym for people who wish to disassociate themselves from a production. Alan Smith. The name was misspelled. Alan usually has 2 L's. Warner's credit had just 1. Weird. Rita Taggart, never a fan of horror movies, decided to accept a role in the film because she had a window before her TV show Almost Grown started shooting. She was also very keen to work with Lance Henriksen. Dave Oliver, who played Bonnie's Randy boyfriend Vinny, died of AIDS 3 years later at the age of 30. That's really sad. The stand-up comedian the family is watching on TV is actual stand-up comedian Bobby Collins. Currently holds a 0 rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Lance Henriksen and Louis Arquette both appeared in Scream films. Lance played Hollywood producer John Milton in Scream 3, and Louis was Chief Hartley in Scream 2 alongside son David Arquette as Dewey.
Can I just say something? Just because this movie has no rating on that piece of shit website does not mean this movie has no validation.
Oh, I know. I don't even look at anything that site does.
No, but I just want to tell people out there, you know, Rotten Tomatoes are also responsible for fucking resurrecting Keanu Reeves' piece of shit career. So it's like, you know, you can't attack a horror lover for enjoying horror pictures when you actually think Keanu Reeves can act. So I'm just saying, if you think you're some kind of fucking intellectual because you like fucking Keanu Reeves movies, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You know, it's just I despise him so much. I'm sorry, I really do hate him. Like I've never liked him, and I don't understand why that guy has any type of resurgence in Hollywood. Like, why do people like that guy? He's just a fucking hack.
Oh no, people don't really have much acquired tastes.
But I mean, people knock me for like, oh, you like that? Oh, it's a terrible movie, blah blah. It's a B movie, whatever. And I'm like, that's fine, but you know, I can't watch Kurosawa films, and I also can't watch fucking things that, you know, it's like these are also the same people that like stuff J.J. Abrams does, which means they just need to be clubbed to death.
Let me see what they got on Rotten Tomatoes with this. I'm curious. And plus, you know, they have critic ratings and they also have fan ratings. And let's see, audience score is 27%. The only reason it doesn't really have ratings is there's not a whole lot of votes that even happened on here. It says there's 8 votes on here. So it's not really they even did anything. But let's see what the reviews say. And this should not deter anybody from turning on this film and watching it with us via Tubi or anything. This is just to read what cocksuckers we got on this website. I'm sorry if this reads more like a financial analysis than a movie review. You have to think of something during these movies. And that was Roger Ebert. That was in 2000, who never likes anything. When it comes down to it, House 3, the horror show, is easily the weakest entry in the House franchise, even though it's not actually a part of the House franchise, so this guy's an idiot. Sadly, it seems like nothing more than a desperate attempt to draw an audience purely based on gore and profanities, which is what I love, so that does draw me in. As a fright flick, the horror show fails miserably. As a piece of camp, however, it's fantastic. A total trip from start to finish. Dull Elm Street rip. That makes no sense. Let's see. Wow, that's way too long of a review. I'm not going to even do that. No, all these are. These are all.
Well, Ebert also said that fucking Silent Night, Deadly Night was hot garbage, and it's one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. So
yeah, I really enjoyed the hell out of this when it came out, though I had no clue it was originally a House sequel, which it's not. And there was no way to know from watching the film anyway Any film both Lance Henriksen and Bryon James is awesome by default. You're right about that. A lot of these people are saying either they like that it's a house film and they didn't know it was, even though it really isn't. They just tried to lump it into the house. It wasn't made as a house movie. They just tried to put it in there. But some of these people that I'm reading are like pissed that it had no connection to the house movies. These must all be people from Europe, because in the US it wasn't billed as a house movie at all. It's just kind of the lore of it. Whereas Bryon James.
So here's the thing. Let me explain to you, as someone that saw this when it came out. This was never advertised and or promoted as a house picture in this country.
Yeah, it's not. It's just...
So, let me just explain something about modern culture in 2021 that people are fucking stupid. Just because you get on the internet and read something does not mean you deserve to have a comment about something, especially if you weren't even hatched when this picture was made.
Yeah.
And these people, it was something that apparently the producers and or studio decided to do in Europe, and it's like, you know,
choking his wife because his wife turned into Bryon James. It was hilarious. It was
it was amazing. People overanalyze stuff, and I'll tell you something else. I have something really fucked up to talk about on this podcast. So, a couple of days ago, it was reported that Tanya Roberts died, which was the star of Sheena and A View to a Kill, and I guess younger folks would know her from that 70s show. Well, it turns out she's not dead.
Yeah, it was like her rep or somebody fucking fucked up on that and reported it, like, immediately, instead of figuring out.
So the reason that I'm bringing this up is just because you read it on the internet does not make it fact.
No. People won't know that, though. They'll just keep doing it. Let's see. This film was heavily cut for an R rating. Some scenes were cut down, while other scenes were removed completely to avoid getting an X rating by the MPAA. Although the European cut features extra gore and violence, the fully uncut version was never released. Some stills show scenes which were deleted and not included in any version of the movie. Bonnie's birthday scene, where blood spills out of her birthday cake. A scene showing Bonnie's dead boyfriend being torn in half. And a scene where Lucas pulls his chest open and his heart is shown. So maybe they'll, put out a definitive edition of this one day with uncut stuff. 'Cause from that, it didn't seem like it was lost. It's just not packaged in with anything right now. But either way, I already like it so far, and I'm going to change your picture on the phone to Bryon James with that wig on and his nightgown. I think that's really funny.
I hope you're really not doing that. That's really kind of creepy.
I think it's pretty funny.
I hope you're not doing that.
Now, in the so in the Arrow box set, is it this film that says House 3 on it?
That is incorrect. It is not available in the Arrow box set that was released in America.
That's what I'm saying. And the
only way that you can get this film is from Screen Factory, and it's a horror show, which is what it is.
Huh.
Now, in Europe, Arrow released this as House 3. But that's how this picture was received, seen on home video and whatnot in the 80s, so that's how they had to release it. But the Arrow house box set in America only has two pictures.
Only has
in it,
the two.
Which is how it should be.
And then the other one had like 4 of them, the UK one.
Correct, because there's a House 4 that was only released in Europe, and it's some other film too. I couldn't tell you about all that because I never had any interest in it because it was never released to me that way when I was growing up, Thrashing in Japan is called like El Skateboarde or something, but I don't know that version of that fucking film.
Let's see. House 4 it's also known as House 4, The Repossession, is a 1992 direct-to-video comedy horror film directed by Louis Abernathy, produced by Sean Cunningham, written by Geoff Miller. I don't know who any of these people are. What the fuck? Okay. Clicked on something weird. Okay. And Deidre Higgins. It was filmed in November 1990, unreleased until going direct-to-video late January 1992, and is the final entry in the House series. It is not a direct sequel, only being loosely connected to the other films through the sharing of some crew members and the killer haunting a house premise. The film sees the return of Roger Cobb from the original House film, but the film otherwise does not connect a storyline to the first film. Kane Hodder was a stunt coordinator on the film. Let's see. Roger Cobb, which is played by William Catt, is now married to Kelly. Has a daughter, Laurel, and often visits the old Cobb family house after his father has died, in location on a deserted and desolate shoreline. This is all a bunch of shit. Various supernatural events start occurring in the house, and after Kelly consults with a Native American spiritual guide, she learns that the spirit of Roger and some Indians have been trying to warn Kelly that Roger's tragic car accident was in fact cold-blooded murder, and that Burke is trying to sell the land to the mafia so that he can be used for illegal dumping of toxic waste. Sounds wonderful.
I have a favor to ask you.
What's that?
Can I go right into the music? I actually am excited to read these off. This is actually really cool.
Okay.
So, you want to kick off in the future thing, and then I'll do these real quick?
Oh, yeah. Well, we got to queue up the check. We're going to go ahead and do Altering the Future, as Bryon James is about to be executed.
Altering the Future!
So here we go.
And that sacrament bread, it looks like he just stuck a guitar pick in his mouth. Anyway.
That's what I thought it was.
And with
really
that,
weird.
On that note, I'm going to read you off. We normally do this kind of later, but I'm so excited, honestly, to jump into this. This is actually a really good year.
We're at 1989.
I'm going to read you the... Yep. So here we go. And man, this is all really cool. So, Prime Evil from Venom, which is a very rare Venom album. It's incredibly hard to find physically. I'm sure it's probably on YouTube or something. Y'all should check it out. It's interesting. The Joke's on You from Excel, which is one of my favorite crossover bands. I saw them on that tour, and I'm a huge fan of that band, if you love that band. Underrated Bay Area thrash band, Lost Rocket Annihilation Principle, which is a must-have. And they were also responsible for doing a lot of songs on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 soundtrack. Let's see here. The Headless Children from Wasp. Beyond the Darkest Something Other from Therion, if you're a fan of that band. I was never a fan of that band. Parasexual Holocaust from Therion, another, just like I said, they're just a weird band. Gamma Acid, Victims of Silence. I had not thought about this album in years. If you guys can find you a copy of that, that's kind of a underrated little classic here from a very obscure band. In Search of Sanity from Onslaught. One of the best albums ever made, Seattle's Forced Entry, and their debut album, Uncertain Future. Highly recommend it. It's a Dr. West classic. Gloom from Macabre. Dark Angels Leave Scars. Peel Sessions from Carcass. Blessing in Disguise from Metal Church. Exodus, Fabulous Disaster. Conspiracy from King Diamond, my favorite King Diamond album.
Oh, yeah.
Necrolust from Vader. Follow the Blind from Blind Guardian, great power metal album. Handle with Care, my favorite Nuclear Assault album. and saw that tour. Alice in Hell from Annihilator. Nothing Face, my favorite Voivod album. No More Color from Coroner. Practice What You Preach from Testament. Years of Decay, an underrated Overkill record. Street Cleaner from Godflesh. Extreme Aggressions from Creator. Agent Orange from Sodom, my favorite Sodom album. Piece of Time from Atheist. Horrified from Repulsion. Severed Survival from Autopsy, also my favorite Autopsy record.
I got an ad.
Realm of Chaos from Bolt. Yeah, hold on, let me pause this.
Ad in 1 second. Here's the ad.
My ads run in with yours, so I ain't pausing anything.
Okay, cool. Continue.
Realm of Chaos from Bolt Thrower. Consuming Impulse from Pestilence. Beneath the Remains from Sepultura. Symphonies of Sickness from Carcass. World Downfall from Terrorizer. Slowly We Rock from Obituary, even though I hate that fucking band. Altars of Madness from Morbid Angel. And my favorite album that came out that entire fucking year, Best Wishes from Chromax.
Fuck yeah.
I'm done.
Alright, we got some good movies too. Let's see. We'll just get thrown right into them. We'll start with the weird Peter Jackson puppet movie Meet the Feebles, which is actually on Tubi if you want to check that thing out. The Burbs with Tom Hanks. We got Weekend at Bernie's. Got Parents. Sleepaway Camp 3. Got Born on the 4th of July.
Mine's on.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Born on the 4th of July. See what else.
Do me a favor real quick. Is the man standing there in the suit, can you look up other stuff he's been in?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me finish this list out. Let's see. See No Evil, Hear No Evil. Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. Puppet Master. Got Turner and Hooch. You got Fletch Lives. Got The Wizard. Got that weird No Holds Barred movie with fucking Hulk Hogan.
Love it.
Let's see. Silent Night, Deadly Night 3. Of course, you got Deep Star 6, which you mentioned. Toxic Avenger Part 2. You got Kiki's.
Don't like that movie.
Kiki's Delivery Service, which is an old anime. It's actually good. All that old Studio Ghibli stuff was actually some of the only good shit. Harlem Nights. Got Chud 2. You got Pink Cadillac, Clint Eastwood. At the Trial of the Incredible Hulk.
It's a made-for-TV picture.
Yep. So you got Kickboxer, Blind Fury.
Love it. Blind Fury is a really good record album.
The Karate Kid Part 3.
Love that. That's my favorite of those movies, and that's no joke. I was just talking about it the other day to somebody.
American Ninja 3. Got Cyborg.
Cyborg's amazing.
Yep. Field of Dreams. Back to the Future Part 2 with Biff Tannen. Warlock.
Warlock is another awesome. Really underrated horror film.
Little Monsters, which was just put out on Blu-ray a couple months ago via the Vestron line. The Little Mermaid. Got Batman, the first Michael Keaton one with Jack Nicholson.
So good.
All Dogs Go to Heaven, just one of my favorite cartoons when I was little. Got License to Kill.
Have you ever seen All Dr. West Go to Hell? Have you ever seen that movie? It's really good.
That one's good. You got License to Kill with old T-Dot. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Got Star Trek The Final Frontier. Let's see. That one's German. What the fuck? Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Roadhouse.
Love it.
Pet Sematary.
Pet Cemetery is okay. I love the Ramones song.
Yeah.
And soundtrack. So, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Lethal Weapon 2.
It's a good movie.
Return of Swamp Thing, Shocking Dark, Uncle Buck, Say Anything, Look Who's Talking, Major League.
I hate Say Anything. I fucking despise that fucking film.
Major League.
Major League's a great movie, but Say Anything fucking sucks.
Yeah. Dead Poet Society, Tango and Cash.
Another movie I never liked. Tango and Cash is amazing. Wow. Also featuring Bryon James that's in this film.
Yep. When Harry Met Sally.
I hate that movie.
Let's see.
I hate Billy Crystal. Billy Crystal has never done one fucking thing besides the movie Running Scared with him and Gregory Hahn. That's like the only good movie he's ever done.
Never really been a fan.
Like all these people are like, oh, I like that City Slippers. It's like, no thanks.
Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, Society.
Society's great. Halloween 5 sucks.
Death Spa, Bride of Reanimator, Witch Trap.
Death Spa's amazing. Bride of Reanimator, that's great.
Intruder.
I never liked Intruder.
I don't know. The horror movies pretty much. The Church.
Great movie.
Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5.
Satanic goodness.
Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5.
Turd.
Shocker. Which, of course, there's the whole thing. What the fuck is this? Hang on. God damn it. Sorry, I got interrupted with a phone call. Tetsuo the Iron Man. It's a Japanese movie. It's fucking bad shit. It's pretty fun and weird.
Mr. Borger, I'm glad that I reached you. This is Bill Collections for Capital One. How are you doing this morning? How are you doing, sir?
Fantastic.
We've got a outstanding limit here for a Phancrasm Podcast, and it says you owe $3,000. We were wondering if you'd like to make a payment today, or do you want us to freeze your bank account?
Yeah, go ahead and freeze it, and go fuck yourself.
Great. You have a wonderful day, sir.
Me too, thanks. We got Friday 13th.
Who was that on the phone?
Oh, some bill collector guy.
Cool.
We got Friday 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. And then the final two films, my two favorite films of this year, and some of my favorite films of all time, which is Black Rain and Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, it's weird. That's like Corey's favorite Ridley Scott film is Black Rain. However, we're gonna do a quiz today, and I want you to pull up IMDb to check it. I want you to tell me my favorite Ridley Scott film.
All right. Let's see.
Can Corey get this answer right? You get one guess. And it is literally hands down my favorite thing he ever did. I have it on Blu-ray. They did a remake of this movie recently, which made me want to fucking puke. And it's the best thing that he ever did.
They did a remake of it?
Yeah, this movie got remade apparently in the past couple of years because I saw a Blu-ray of it at the secondhand store that I go to, and I was like, "What? Why was this remade?" So.
Let me see.
Now, Tony Scott did a lot of really good films.
Now, is this an older movie?
I'm not telling you anything.
Mm-hmm.
You can research it and take your time. We have no rush. I love this movie. I can quote it. And I saw this movie at the theater when I was a child.
Well, only get one shot at this, so I'm going to narrow them down here. It's just a weird one.
Do you want me to tell you?
No. Let me try and narrow it down. I know it's not Alien. I know it's not Blade Runner. It's not Legend, I don't think. That's kind
It's not.
Because they didn't remake either of those. It's not Black Rain. Definitely not Hannibal or Black Hawk Down. Or Gladiator. I've never seen 1492, but that doesn't seem like it would be that one either. Even though that does have Sigourney Weaver in it, which is pretty cool.
It's The Duelist.
Is The Duelist? That's his first film.
It is.
Weird.
Here's a funny, interesting story about that. I had the Blu-ray. It's going for about $80 on
It was a shout for
eBay. Anyway, it's one of my favorite films. And I want to tell you guys, that picture, some folks at Fox saw that, and they're like, this is who we need to get to do Alien. So if you're an Alien fan, check out The Duelist. It has nothing to do with that, but it is the picture that got him going. It's from 1977, and it's one of my favorite movies ever made. It's got an incredible cast.
It's got Harvey Keitel.
Like I said,
Guy Hamilton.
Some hack fucking tried to fucking redo that film recently, and it makes me want to puke.
Where?
Because here's the thing, some things just don't need to be touched. And that movie, if you ever watch it, it's just kind of a little special place and time in my heart. And I saw that movie at a drive-in with my uncle when I was really small. And I probably saw it 3 or 4 years after it came out, because I was talking to someone about this the other day, for folks out there that are younger, even Corey, really too young for this. So when before VHS and Betamax and Laserdisc and all that stuff, movie theaters would show films over and over and over again for people that love the stuff, because otherwise you could only watch it on TV if they showed it on like ABC Sunday Night Movie or whatever.
Right.
CBS Saturday Night Movie or blah, 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 et cetera, Friday Night Movie. So theaters would show stuff over and over again. I remember we went and saw a double feature. There was an older picture and then a new picture. So we got to see The Duelist. And then after The Duelist, I got to see Force 10 from Navarone, which is my favorite war picture with Robert Shaw and Harrison Ford. So that's another good movie, too, that you should check out. It's really good.
What is it?
Force 10 from Navarone.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies ever made. It's hands down my favorite war movie. And it's got an incredible cast. You've got Robert Shaw, Harrison Ford. It was directed by a Bond director, which is really cool. And then it's got the dude that played Creed in the Rocky films that you love from Predator. He's in it. The dude from Mandalorian, I can't think of his name right now. Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers, too.
And then the original guy that played Django, he's also in it too.
Nice.
It's a really, really good movie. I highly recommend it. The guy that plays Jaws is in it. Richard Kiel, he's in it for a minute. The love interest from Spy Who Loved Me is also in that film, because it's the same director. Can't think of that cat's name, but it's the same guy that directed Force 10 from Navarone did that. But it's a really, 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 really good movie. But yeah, The Duelist. Best thing Ridley Scott ever did. In fact, in 2003, when I was at Man's Chinese Theater watching Ridley do a commentary when they showed Alien in the theater. They, for fans of Ridley, and everyone left except for about 10 people, I stayed there and watched the Duelist after they showed the Alien director's cut, 3.
Nice.
It was really cool. So I got to see the Duelist in the theater again since I hadn't seen it since probably 1980. Even though it came, like I said, in 77, but I saw it when I was younger, so it's pretty awesome.
Now, as far as the guy in the suit that you were asking me about,
was he on a show called Riptide is what I needed to know.
Well, I couldn't even see, really, based on pictures, who these... Yes, that is Tom Bray. That's the dude that was in Prince of Darkness. And the Prowler.
Riptide was a Stephen J. Cannell show, the guy that created... he created tons of shows, but he's most famous for creating 18. And Riptide used to come on at 9 o'clock after 18 on Tuesdays in the 80s. And I loved Riptide. Riptide was one of my favorite shows. And I always forget that he is in Prince of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
I always forget that he's in that picture.
We'll see another cast member on here is pretty cool. Is Aaron Eisenberg, which in the movie plays Scott McCarthy. I think he was one of the victims earlier. I don't remember. But he is Nog in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Always find the...
And he is dead, too. So, I've got a commercial.
Alright, I'm pausing it. This kid is wearing a Ace Frehley shirt, or Ace Frehley mask on the back of his head. That's really funny. There's some NXS poster there. This chick's getting nudie. Alright, I'm paused now. Just getting into the film there.
I've still got commercials.
I'm at 36 minutes and 46 seconds.
If I try to rewind or do anything with this app, it's just going to shit the bed and I'll have to start the movie over. So.
No, you're fine. I think you got a little bit ahead of me anyway.
The way I'm watching it, it's a television service, so it's kind of shady.
Yeah. You don't want to mess with that shit.
Commercial now for Febreze.
Yep. Gotta fan away your nasty dog stench and your fucking butt odor. And do it with Febreze.
I dated some women that needed Febreze in their panties. I'm gonna tell you what, man. There's nothing worse than getting a gamey cooter to fuck. It's nasty. Go to jack off.
A gamey cooter.
Just saying, if it smells like a fucking wild animal, I don't want to deal with it. And I'm back. All
right.
Are
you still with this chick with the NXS poster?
No, it's in a basement. Some dude's like talking to somebody. I don't know.
You might be ahead of me. Did you already see the chick?
I don't know what you're talking about. I just know there's some dude walking around the basement. I can't do anything with this because, like I said, if I try to pause, rewind, or do anything with this, it's going to shit the bed.
Well, what time are you on?
I can't check that.
You can't check.
That's what I'm telling you. This app is. I mean, I can try to, but I can't guarantee if this fucks up. Okay, it's at 38:12.
Yeah, you're actually ahead of me, so pause it real fast. Oh, I got an ad. I got an ad anyway. Just keep. Yeah, I got an ad now. Fantastic. One thing about Tubi, folks, is the ads will just keep coming.
It's a shit show.
I got U.S. Cellular.
Well, it's how they make their money. It's why the app's free, because they have 1,000.
Yeah, I know. It used to only be like one, though. They show them now like every 5 minutes. I guess because we've gave them so much. We gave this app so much fucking advertisement for the past year. I mean, it's probably because of us.
Right, with no funding for us, which is fantastic.
They're like, well, Phantasm keeps fucking saying that we're fucking free and you can go on here. And it's like, let's just keep putting more ads on here now. Here's the Febreze ad. He's like, something smells gross in here. It's not the dog. I think it's my wife's scooter. Be like, honey, have you used the Febreze today? She's like, no. Well, have you taken a shower today? No. It's like, well, you know, I just nutted in you like an hour and a half ago. You might want to go wash that crotch. I will later after I make some beef and shrimp tacos. It's like, well, I think you already made a beef shrimp taco, so you need to go wash it. I'm gonna get a CSL plasma ad. That's great. Here, go to CSL plasma. I actually can't donate there because my veins are too thin. That's what they told me.
Let's don't talk about that or I will puke.
So what are you on 30?
I'll tell you guys a quick story about that, and I will not elaborate on this any further.
Where are you at right now on the timeline here?
3812.
Okay. Fuck. Yeah, I'm glad I was behind because I didn't miss the NXS chick where Bryon. Alright, 3812 right now, and you can unpause. Now we are synced back up, folks, on the horror show.
I was dating this chick, and she's like, I'm going to go give plays me. And I was sitting over there, and I was just like, and I fucking literally, this is no joke, I literally fainted on a sidewalk in front of a Subway. See, here's the thing, kids. Here's another lesson, 5th year anniversary about Dr. West. I have severe eczema, and when I was a child, they used to my mom would take me to these Nazis they were doctors, but they were basically Nazis. They would sit there and scratch me till I bled to see if my skin would break out.
Oh.
And I'm talking like my entire back with like 20 incisions on it in one day. And I would leave there crying and broke out and sneezing and coughing and sick and everything else because allergy stuff in the 80s was like butchery.
Ooh.
Like this guy that's getting butchered right now by Max Jenke. But anyway, so all this stuff happened, and I just have a thing about needles. The interesting thing is I'm on a drug for it now called Dupixent, and it's actually helped heal my skin from within. That's their little slogan. But anyway, I have to get an injection in my side like every 2 weeks, so I've kind of gotten used to shots now, but I could never give blood, and it's not because I'm not trying to help humanity. I would just vomit, because anytime I've had an IV or anything else when I've been in the hospital, I've got puked all over myself. I do not like needles. I don't like hospitals. I don't like any type of medicine. It freaks me the fuck out. Like, it's kind of funny, but it's a thing I've had an issue with my whole life. Like, I remember being in biology class in middle school, and I had to go out of the fucking classroom because I couldn't handle her talking about hemoglobin and all this shit. I'm like, I'm like fucking out in the fucking hallway about to fucking vomit. And people used to laugh at me and make fun of me because I was so sensitive to that stuff. But again, none of these people had eczema and been through fucking Nazi allergy tests when they were children either. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Just a little phobia there. So yeah, let's stay away from any type of gross. Can't do it.
That's why the doctor
ocean concrete
gets very angry.
Death metal
because he can work in a damn morgue around dead bodies and blood and all kinds of shit. But
that's different.
It secretly freaks him out.
No, that doesn't freak me out. What freaks me out are people that are alive asking for my blood. Ugh, nasty.
We want your blood, Dr. West.
Never.
What's this bitch doing?
Right.
Oh, she's the one. Really she's the one trying to find Vinny, who's already been hacked up for dead.
I think people think because of the way Max Jenke shows up in this film and the lighting and stuff that this was some kind of Nightmare on Elm Street rip. But the reality is
I don't see it that way. It's just people just want to
anything. I can see where they're looking for something just to try to generically.
That's what I'm saying.
That.
Everybody
but
always.
Again, as much as I love Freddy Krueger, I don't consider Freddy Krueger. I don't consider his movie slasher films. I just don't.
No.
because he's a demon attacking people, so it's kind of more like supernatural horror more than I would call that a slasher.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, he is like a serial murderer. I mean, in his past. But,
well, he was. He was
in his past,
but he's dead, and then they killed him. You know, so he's a demon. So he's not really. It's not really a slasher. I mean, I love him, but you can't really categorize him like that.
Yeah, because the way he does it is also. I mean, he doesn't just use his knives. I mean, he rarely ever does. It's like,
because I got into an argument with someone recently about this online. I'm like, American Psycho with Christian Bale is more of a slasher film as opposed to Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
You know, because Nightmare on Elm Street, and I love Nightmare on Elm Street. I love the first 4 films, but anything after that I don't like. But except the new Nightmare thing, for some reason, I know this is really strange. I really like that film. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people hate that. For some reason, love that movie. I don't have any explanation for that, but I do love it. But anyway, I've revisited it recently, just revisiting some Wes Craven stuff. But anyway, Serpent in the Rainbow is amazing too, and good. That's another underrated film.
Very underrated.
Not so much as it's just bizarre, but anyway, and I think Eli Roth has stole a lot from that movie, in my opinion. But anyway, in his films, but I don't know if he's a demon. I love Freddy. I'm not knocking Freddy Krueger. I just don't see him as a slasher. I don't know. I just don't. It's like Chucky. Chucky, are those movies really slasher films? Not really, because it's Brad Dourif possessed inside of a fucking toy.
Yeah. I mean, those movies are actually set up as a slasher, though, so I'd consider that. But
well, see, you know what? I don't. He's a demon. You know.
I'm not saying Freddy. I'm saying Child's Play is definitely like a slasher film. I mean, as they go on, they're kind of not, but the.
See, I would actually consider that more demon possession type stuff. See, here's the thing. That's another one. This one chaps my ass because I'm a huge Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan. I don't consider those movies slasher films. I just don't. I mean, they're a cannibal family. There's no other way you have to kill a human being to eat it. So, you know, it's just, those are cannibal films to me. Like, I don't.
Yeah, but those, I mean, he's not picking, you know, Leatherface isn't picking off people one by one in those films either. I mean, it's just, there's no setup for it to be slasher. They're just horror films.
It's a fucking cannibal horror film. I don't consider it a slasher.
Right,
it's not that I don't love Leatherface. Leatherface is arguably my favorite character in all of horror, but I'm just saying that it's, you know, I was talking to somebody about this recently, and we got kind of an argument about it, but I mean, it's with Wilshire Tucker, which, by the way, his name now is Urinal Cake. Anyway, so I was talking to Urinal Cake about this, and I told him, I said, I don't know, I don't agree with that. Like, no matter which films you like, to me, those are not slasher movies. Like, a slasher movie to me is Prowler or Maniac or Friday the 13th or, you know, Psycho. And the first Halloween, you know, and even the second Halloween's a slasher.
Yeah.
You know. But I'm just saying that I think people overanalyze. That's like someone trying to tell me that Halloween 3 is a slasher film. I love Halloween 3. It's one of my favorite movies ever made, but it's not a slasher movie.
No.
You know. And I love the first 2 Child's Play movies. I'm just saying, for me personally, they're more. I mean, the second one I think is more of a slasher than the first one. The first one's like demonic possession, you know.
I mean, yeah, I guess,
me,
but it's
like as a kid, like as a child, I wasn't like, yeah, let's go see this Child's Play slasher movie. In fact, the remake is more of a slasher than any of the other Chucky films to me.
Yeah, it plays out more like a straightforward slasher.
We did part 2 recently on here, which, by the way, you never put that up, I don't think, but just FYI on that. That's another lost episode, is the Child's Play 2.
No, remember? It's part of our 100th episode thing, because by Spotify, we're only on 96, so by the time this is up, that'll all be up.
Oh. No, I was just letting you know, you can edit this out, I was just letting you know that that's another one that I forgot that we did a while back. We did Child's Play 2.
I know it's on there. I put up a thing for it. I just didn't I thought I had the episode up, actually, but I looked earlier before we did this, and I didn't, so it'll be up there.
But that movie, you love that movie. That is very much a slasher. And even the third one. But what I'm saying is that first film, to me, it's not really, whereas the remake is very much a slasher. He's hacking people, the cat, fucking, he's killing everybody in that fucking film.
Yeah.
You know? Like, okay, here's a good example. Like, I don't consider this movie a slasher. I just don't.
I mean, this one's more of like a horror, like, thriller in a way, and it's very gory, and, I mean, he's killed some people.
It's demonic possession.
Well, I don't know about that, but it's just kind of... I mean, I think you can have a slasher film with that context, like Jason, for instance. I mean, he's basically by, you know, the fourth, you know, after, I guess that, like, not even until the sixth film when he is actually resurrected from the dead. You know, like a zombie and kind of like a demon, if you will. You know, but those are still... Well,
Jason Goes to Hell, that entire movie's demonic possession. I'm just saying, I think I have an argument with this. I mean, I think it's a legitimate thing. This movie, and Shocker, very much so. Like, you never get into it in Shocker, but if you ever pay attention in Shocker, he's made some kind of deal with somebody, because...
Yeah, but Shocker is even considered a supernatural horror film, more than a slasher itself, you know.
I know, and I'm saying this is too.
Yeah, it plays out more like that anyway.
There's no explanation for this, because you can't call the cops to catch Max Jenke, just like you can't call the cops to catch Horst Pinker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then Shocker, they start finding out later down the road. It's like, you know, his dad starts going, "Yeah, I've been after him for years," and blah blah, and all this other bullshit. You know, all the story starts unraveling and gets deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
You know, but if you remember, there's a scene. It's one of the best scenes in Shocker. He's sitting there doing some type of satanic curse, and he's like sitting in front of the television set. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It's fucking rad. But I'm just saying that, you know, these were unique ways to continue the horror genre without it being, you know, Freddy or Jason or Chucky or whatever.
Yeah. Actually adding a different context to it, making it more deep than just a straight-up slasher.
I mean, there's a body count and everything. It's a horror film, but I'm just saying, to me, First Power, this, and Shocker, you know, they're all like demonic possession things, because they're to some degree, they're dealing with a higher force to give them the power to do this. In fact, one of my favorite movies ever made, Trick or Treat, is very much doing that. Sammy Kerr is dealing with supernatural forces so he can come back and kill people. I mean,
yeah.
It is a slasher, kind of, but it's more like a revenge demonic possession movie. I love it.
Yeah, I think they kind of falls under maybe a subgenre.
Carrie's that way. I mean, you could say that Brian De Palma invented it with him doing Stephen King's Carrie, so, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, it's maybe a subgenre of the slasher, just these different ways, but they're not.
Dude, they're definitely here. Get ready for this.
They're definitely less of a slasher than anything else.
Watch TV. Watch this.
I'm watching it. He's about to fuck the chicken or something. The turkey. What the fuck it?
Just watch.
Going to the concert with Vinny, didn't return my phone calls. I like that kid though. He's cool. Get your fucking beans. Is that Aaron Eisenberg, the kid right there? It is.
Yes.
Pretty sure he's young in this movie. Got the old Sony Sport Walkman. It's really awesome. Ooh, that's nice.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Yep, that's that's pretty funny. Hell yeah. Got the Bryon James supernatural turkey and his family with his throat slit. That's pretty dope. That's pretty fucking creepy, honestly. Now he's having
it's disgusting is what it is.
Hallucination station going on here. Nothing like freaking the family out by stabbing the turkey with a knife and being like having his little freak out. Family dinner freak out. There's Bobby Collins there. Let's see some other stuff on this film here. Let's see where it was filmed. It was filmed in San Pedro, Los Angeles, California.
I wanted to tell everybody about a movie that I'm going to make, and it's where this guy, he's just kind of had enough of a lot of things in his life, and what he does, it's a slasher film. He starts taking out stand-up comics one by one.
Yep, that's a good one. It'll actually star Dr. Vincent West, and it'll be, we'll just go from there. So it just stars Dr. Vincent West, and that's the whole thing. Now, what's really cool is that Howard Berger is who did all the effects for this, which is pretty awesome.
I'm telling you, this movie is really, I love it. It's very fast-paced. This movie doesn't drag. There's no parts of this movie that are slow.
No, it's great.
Constantly, just moving. It has a good flow to it, and it was fun seeing it in the theater, too. And, yeah, that's totally Nog from... By the way, he's dead, if I haven't said that already.
Yeah, he died, now 2 years ago, because now it's 2021.
Fucking sucks.
Howard Berger, of course. Aliens, Creepshow 2, Predator, Child's Play, which one he did before this.
I mean, Darkness, he's done a million fucking...
Yeah, Pumpkinhead, Harry and the Hendersons, which isn't a horror movie, but that scared the living dog shit out of me. Of course, he was part of
I have an ad in
Rick Baker's crew.
3, 2,
yeah, I do too.
1. I'm on an ad.
Me too. I'm on an ad. It said in the movie they said "God damn it" right before that. So, yeah, he also went and did Nightmare on Elm Street 5: Dream Child right after this film.
My ad is a bunch of retards trying to fucking do a fucking speak another language.
Bride Reanimator, Tremors.
It's Rosetta Stone.
Dr. Giggles, Body Bags, Jason Goes to Hell, Pumpkinhead 2, Darkman 2, Lord of Illusions, Phantasm 4, Oblivion.
Corey learned how to speak French by using that Rosetta Stone app.
I did. He did Bubba Hotep, Cabin Fever, which is gross. Pretty cool. He also did one of the Doctor's favorite movies, Spider-Man 3. He did the special effects for that, of the something in that film.
I want to tell you something right now. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I cannot deal with those Sam Raimi films. I think they're garbage.
They're his favorite, he tells me.
Tobey Maguire needs to be fucking stabbed to death. He's fucking annoying. Do what?
Said you tell me all the time it's your favorite. It's like, man, this is my favorite thing. It's that one.
Here, I'm going to tell you the lamest thing about those movies. I will never forget seeing that first piece of shit film at the theater, okay? And that stupid Creed Nickelback song in that film.
Alright, I'm back. Are you back yet?
No, I'm not. It's another ad.
Hang on, let me pause this.
So that Creed Nickelback piece of shit, hero can save us. Dude, that is the worst piece of diarrhea I have ever heard in my life. and I literally, and every single human being that I know thinks that movie's great. And I'm like, that movie was a piece of dog shit. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm really nervous about Sam Raimi directing that Doctor Strange film.
You think that a hero can save him?
I don't think he can direct. I'm back. I don't think he can direct anything anymore.
Apparently not.
So,
the Drag Me to Hell movie's a fucking piece of shit too.
I think he's overrated, man. I mean, those Spider-Man movies are fucking garbage. I mean, I don't know. And people always try to get me, the part 2 is so good. I hate that one guy's Dr. Octopus. He's horrible. That Robert Molina. He looks like a fucking, drug dealer from fucking Cuba. I just don't like him.
Isn't he in Species?
Yes, I hate that fucking movie. That's another movie that I just... And I was telling you this the other day. I'm so sick of the Predator, Alien, franchise. I'm sick of it. If H.R. Geiger created it, I don't want to see it anymore unless it's on the cover of a Danzig album. I just don't want to see the shit anymore. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of seeing that. And NECA, that fucking toy company, they're constantly like, check out our Predator 5, fucking thing. It's like, will you stop making this crap? Like, I don't know who's wasting their money on this garbage, but it's like, I'm so sick of that franchise. And the thing is, I used to love the first film. I can't even deal with it anymore. I don't like any of that stuff. I don't like any of the Alien movies. I'm so sick of everybody like, you don't like good meat? No, I don't. Just like I don't like Mandalorian either, you fucking hick. Not everybody likes Star Wars and Alien and fucking Predator. I don't like any of that crap. It's like, will you please just shut up and stop trying to force feed me your fucking crap? You know, I didn't like the shit when I was a kid. Like, it's like, you just leave it alone. Like, my God, like, I've seen this stuff to death. You know, it's just, I mean, you know what I mean? I'm just sick of it. Like, the Terminator franchise, I still like because I don't feel like it's as popular. But for some reason, like, these, like, fanboy people of, like, Predator and Alien stuff, it's like, will you just leave it alone? You know? And I'm sorry, that Prometheus movie and those other Ridley Scott movies, those movies fucking garbage. And I saw them at the fucking theater, and I was like, "Here's Big Mouse." It's like, this is fucking stupid. You know? Like I said, The Duelist. It's the only movie you need from Ridley Scott. Like, I'm even sick of Blade Runner. Like, I used to love that movie, too. And it's got this dickhole douche following now, and I'm just like, I can't fucking deal with it either. I just can't deal with that movie anymore. I used to love it. I can't deal with it. If I'm watching a Ridley Scott movie, I'm watching The Duelist. I can't do the other stuff. You know, it's like that fucking Dune remake. It's like, I have no interest in that film. Just give me the David Lynch film from '84. I'm good. You know, I just can't do it. There's some things I'm just, you know, just not interested in.
Well,
you know,
on that note,
and to everyone out there that thinks The Mandalorian's this amazing show, Westerns are not a new idea. They've been doing them for years. Go check out a good Western and watch Good, the Bad, and Ugly, and then you can come talk to me about The Mandalorian. So, you know.
Well, I'm
John Favreau directed Iron Man. It's like, yeah. What's your point? He also directed Swingers. I love that movie too, but it doesn't mean I have to like The Mandalorian. It's fucking stupid. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna go to some positive reviews here. One of our sponsors for our 100th episode here, sponsored by Disney Plus and The Mandalorian, but also sponsored by one of our amazing establishments here for. Here, I'll just read it. Sadly, I'm not returning, or at the very least, I don't plan on ordering their chicken Caesar salads ever again. I got sick for the third time having it. I was going to give it just one more last try to be sure it wasn't just a coincidence the second time, and here I am again in the pain, stomach pains even the next day. Multiple washroom trips. Not fun. So he got the fucking the sick dukes from a Caesar salad. They are incredibly misleading when it comes to the pricing and sizing of the 4 for $4. For example, if you upgrade to a large drink or fry, you only receive a medium instead. They claim this is because of the size difference, but it is not made clear. It is not listed anywhere saying or showing that the sizing is different on this particular deal. If they really want to have a different sizing on this particular deal, I feel they need to be honest about it and let customers know, not hide it to save a few dollars. Purchase the 4 for $4. Soft drink is smaller than before. I asked for Fanta Orange and it was flat as a car tire. The fries were terrible. They were cold and tasted like they were cooked in an old oil. Tried to give fries to a pet piglet and he grunted and turned up his snout and walked away. The nuggets were cold and hard. The sandwich was the only thing that deserved 1 star. Really bad trip to Wendy's. That's pretty damn good. I did not receive my full meal. I tried calling 5 times, but no answer. At this time, I would like to... It would be too late to drive back out for my 10-piece spicy nugget. having the misfortune of eating at Wendy's as many of you have, I would just like to say that every location of this restaurant chain should be bulldozed to the ground and left in an ash heap of history. Their burgers are disgusting, fries are even worse, and don't get me started on their customer service, and extremely expensive for what garbage you get. Why people still go there to this place is beyond me.
I gotta be honest with you, I don't have bad experiences at Wendy's. My food's usually banging when I go there.
Yeah, I've never had really a bad experience either, but it's still funny.
No, it's funny, but I'm being serious. Like when I go there, it's really good.
Yeah, I've never had any complaints with it.
I mean, I've had them fuck up like what I wanted on the sandwich, but the food always tastes good.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, doesn't make me sick. So.
Let's see.
But I guess it just depends on the location you go to, you know?
Yeah, well, these are from all over the place. Fries were cold and limp, burger had old tomatoes on it, and burger was cool. I've never had such a bad experience there. It's usually my go-to place. I will think twice before I go there again for a burger and fries. I purchased a baked potato, dug into it, took a bite, swallowed something other than a baked potato. When I moved it around, it looked like there was something that was clearly baked into the potato, long like a worm with the same characteristics as a worm. I go back to Wendy's where all the employees, including the manager, which were fired, gathered the first oohs and ahs of disgust with what the heck is that, then suggestions like it could be a worm or beetle or centipede, but it was not food. Ew. That's awful.
See, it's probably just, you know, it was probably just a rotted tomato, or potato.
Yeah, it's gross.
See, here's the other thing. You go to, like, I mean, you can go anywhere and get bad food. You know, I've had bad food from tons of places. You know, you can go in there and spend money on it. If it's bad, it's bad. It could kill you, and you're dead, you know? I mean, there's nothing really cool about it. You can just sometimes have bad food and have a bad experience, and I think it's just part of the deal, you know.
Let's see. Do another establishment here. Yeah, some people that
I just
complain.
Say something real quick too while you're pulling that up. And I just want to ask people that listen to us, how hard is it to hit a fucking like button on something? You hit like buttons on fucking stuff you probably shouldn't even be hitting like on. I just want to know how hard it is to hit a goddamn like button or a subscribe button. Is it that hard to do? I mean, I think when we start doing video, I'm going to start showing people how to hit a fucking like button on something that they should, and not hit a like button on something else. You know. I'm just curious how hard that is to do that. It just amazes me that Vasquez guy is the only guy that knows how to hit a fucking like button on our goddamn Facebook page. Is it that hard to hit a like button on it when it says it's been viewed by over 100 fucking people? You can't hit a goddamn like button on it, but you'll go hit a fucking like button on fucking some guy fucking peeing all over a toilet seat in a fucking Arby's. I mean, you know, I just seriously. I mean, are you that fucking stupid? I'm just curious just how fucking stupid some people are. I just don't understand that.
Well, here's one for IHOP, and it sounds like Dr. West was the manager, because it says, and this is from the customer, phone wasn't answered. Management was very nasty. Told me I could get hit by a car as I requested that he correct his ordering service. That's Dr. West, manager. Talked nasty to me in front of various customers and gave me only half of my order. Service terrible, and manager was very nasty and unprofessional. No, that's pretty good.
You know, I'd like to follow that comment up with this. 11 years ago, I worked in a Walmart briefly, and I had a gentleman come in with his family wanting deals on stuff, and I was like, I'm unable to do that for you because it was holiday season, so Black Friday, day before Black Friday.
Wonderful
I was
time.
like, I can't do that. And he starts threatening me and yada, yada, yada. But I knew there was no audio on the cameras in there. So, and I'm hitting 911 on my dial pad because I was a cashier to get someone to come help me with this asshole, and nobody ever did. This guy's called me a faggot, a Jew, all these nasty names. I don't know where they were coming from. And finally, I leaned over to him in front of his wife, and I go, I hope you and your family die in a fucking car crash. And I meant it. That's exactly what I told him. And the funny thing is, when they fired me for that, there was no proof of it.
Yeah.
And this is a true story, and I sued Walmart for defamation of character. Not only did I get unemployment, I also got about $11,000 from them.
Nice.
So yeah, I would tell you to get hit by a car if you called in and started cussing me out of my job.
But you have experience with it. The doctor will get fired from his job just to tell you to get hit by a fucking car, so it's pretty damn funny. Come on. Sometimes this specific site has better stuff, but it's hard to find some of this stuff.
I want to also point this out too. My last job was at a call center, and I was watching The Office the other day, and the main dude, the Michael Scott character dude, he had a part-time job as a phone representative at a call center, and it was so funny. It was like the most accurate thing I've ever seen in my life, because his boss was constantly like, just read the script. Don't talk to them. Don't ask them anything. Just read the fucking script. And I was sitting there going, you know what? That's actually spot on, because that's how those assholes act, too. It really is. It's very accurate. I was like, what a bunch of shitbags. So.
What a bunch of shitbags.
I really do love The Office, though. I know that sounds really generic because not everybody on the planet does, but that show's actually really good. Like, I've gotten to where I really enjoy it.
It is very funny.
And I am Michael Scott. I would have to say that is definitely me.
Let's see.
If that's not me, then I would say that I am. No, that's definitely me.
Let's
and
see.
you're Jim. But anyway.
Let's see. Here's our good sponsors at Huddle House. Here's a good one. We occasionally will stop in and order 2 cheeseburger meals to go. They were always good and cooked fresh, along with the fries. Sadly, our local news recently gave out health department inspection scores, and this place received the worst, a 75. 70 will get you closed down. They talked about how unclean it was and roaches being everywhere. Sad, because we did like this place. There was one waitress and one cook. There were numerous tables not bussed yet. I ordered the French toast platter. My eggs and bacon were fine, but the French toast had remnants of previously burnt food. Tasted more like burnt bacon and sausage, as if they did not clean the grill before cooking it. The bathroom was broke. The waitress shared that another server and cook did not show up. I read in another review that every Saturday and Sunday they are shorthanded. This is true. Worst cook ever, sent back food. Cook was not nice to the waitress. I felt sorry for her. She was at least friendly. Something doesn't change at this place. They won't make it. I was here over 1 hour and a half. Unreal, so bad. Well, the order I placed to go was burnt hash browns, burnt bacon. Both meals cost over $20. Three of us sat down at a table, 2 people at the bar, 1 cook, 1 server. We ordered and didn't get our food for 45 minutes. 1 order at a time, each plate cooked it by itself, then delivered. Then another order was started, each person at our table ate while the other 2 watched. In total, it was 2 hours with literally no one else in the restaurant. Worst service ever. Mark this as must skip restaurant. That's pretty funny. It sounds like they're pretty short-handed. People just give them a shit review over that. Kind of fucked up, but... don't know, people give these places reviews sometimes. It's just weird. Because I actually want to find the gross ones. That's what we're looking for here. Our real sponsors are only the finest quality. About 1 star, you know.
It's hilarious.
Let's see. Some of these people are fucking wieners, too. We'll see. Even though we saw the not-so-good reviews, we had a coupon and decided to go. Well, that's a stupid decision. We ordered a rib meal and then an extra salad. Of course, the rolls were not available. They were baking some. My husband asked for bacon on a salad instead of tomato and cheese. Even though the waitress said we could have it that way, she did not fix it that way. The ribs were bland at best and appeared to have been left over or heated up in the microwave. On top of it all, the waitress messed up our receipt and had dirty fingernails. It's a weird.
Yummy.
It's a weird review. We're actually seeing some boobage here. I'll go ahead and give it. You know, you got the side boob going on here. It's a silhouette more or less, but still do Mr. Skinless here at 1 hour and 9 minutes. You can start the shower scene. They're trying to zoom in on the nip here in the Bryon James view. Or he's just zooming right in on her side boob here. He's ready to get the old death here. This is the first time in 4 years I've been to an O'Charlie's. They have gone down in flames. First, their sign said all you could eat catfish. Well, the server told me it's not catfish anymore, it's whitefish. Then I got the seafood platter, the worst food I've ever had, beyond bad. You know what I should do is look up, you can go on Rotten Tomatoes and try to find bad reviews of movies that everybody likes. How about that?
I've got something even funnier to do. Why don't you see if somebody's reviewed us somewhere?
I wouldn't know how to look for that. No, there's podcast reviews.
Look.
What's a movie you really hate that you know everybody likes? I got an ad in 9 seconds.
You have an ad?
Yep, 4 seconds. Bryon James is about to have an ad, too. Yep, on break. Yeah, what's a good movie? One that you really don't like that you just want to hear bad reviews of?
A movie I don't like?
Yes. Movie you hate, you know everyone else likes. So I can find bad reviews.
I hate the Mandalorian.
That's not a movie, though. I mean, they might have it on here. I don't know. Okay, let's see if they have reviews. Well, it's going to be hard to find bad reviews on it. We're going to find them.
Oh, you're not going to find a bad review because everybody thinks it's the greatest thing in the world.
See score details. God damn it. What the hell is it doing? I guess you go by episode. I'll go to the last one, the one that everybody shit over. We'll see if we can find some bad reviews.
Skywalker shows up.
Yep.
I mean, first of all, that's such an original idea to have Luke Skywalker show up in a Star Wars show. I mean, I don't know who would have ever thought of that. I mean, it really is genius. I mean, there must have been a lot of thought process to be like, wait, let's bring a main character from the original 3 films and put it in our fucking show. I mean, Jon Favreau is such a genius. I don't know how he came up with that. I don't know how anybody came up with, you know, that's like me going in there and drinking a glass of water. It takes so much thought to do that. You know.
Well, here we go.
Seriously, I mean, no, seriously, I want to hear you admit this as a Star Wars. Isn't he just a genius to put here, I've got one. I'll put Han Solo in a Star Wars film. So original.
Yeah, it's pretty original. Here's a good one.
Let me just say that. Well, hold on. Let me just say this real quick. If you're a Star Wars fan, you have the brain the size of a fucking pea. That's all I'm going to say. You really are at this point because if you think you're some, because all these people I've seen, they come in my comic book store, they're all like, blah, 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 blah. It's like, you know what? How do you wipe your own ass? Oh, that's right. You're a Trump supporter that doesn't wear a mask. Of course you love Mandalorian, you fucking hick. Why don't you go watch a real Western, like Young Guns? Why don't you go watch a real Western? And then come talk to me about what a Western is. It's real original. It's got a Western thing to it. You mean like Firefly that Josh Whedon did back in the early 2000s? Yeah, Mandalorian's real original.
Here we go. It says, the big budget CGI equivalent of watching a small child smash their collection of action figures into one another. It's messy, incoherent, utterly mindless. But hey, at least the kid is having fun. Let's see.
Beautiful.
The critic
by the way, my movie's still paused. You've never said anything.
Oh, it just now came back on. You're good.
What's going on the screen with you?
It's 1:13:47 is where I'm at. Hour and 13 minutes. The chick is in bed. She's laying in bed. I think Henriksen just left the room.
Okay, do you see the well, you're ahead of me, so you're not going to see this. I'm just not even going to worry about it. Fuck it. I'll just let it play.
But I'm ahead of you?
Yeah, I mean, I can't, dude, I told you I can't really do anything with it. I can pause it, but I can't.
Let me know when Lance Henriksen leaves the room. He's about to.
Lance Henriksen's talking to a police officer.
Okay, it's after that.
The guy he's talking to was in Tango and Cash, though.
Mm-hmm.
Just a side note there. A lot of Tango and Cash people in this film.
You know when Lance leaves the room.
He just punched a cop. He just took his gun. And now he walked out of this. And now he's leaving the police station. Now it's showing some woman laying in bed.
Okay, that's it.
And the light's flickering.
Yep, that's where I'm at. Now, movies are probably easier to review because there's too much bullshit. I don't want to do it by episode.
Well, the one that you read was pretty funny, though.
Yeah, it was. That was from IndieWire. That was a pretty notable source of news.
Well, like I said, I don't think... I just... You know... It's like when we left that last Avengers film. Everybody's like, you can win. They're just like, hey, you're fucking yeah. And it's just like, what movie did you just watch? Because that sucked.
Let's see. I'll read reviews on that one.
You know, I just don't. I don't understand how people. You know, I get tired of. It's like I'm blue in the face telling people that, hey, this is not good, and they're just like, it's amazing. It's like, if you say so. If you say so. By the way, my phone is going to die probably in the next 5 minutes.
Well, we got a little ways to go on the film still.
I'm just letting you know, I don't know why it's about to die. It went from kind of like we're doing pretty good to what that shifted.
Let's see. The only thing that I know for sure has ended with the Marvel Cinematic Universe is my patience. I shouldn't just go to find bad reviews and have to sift through all these ones about blowing it. I have no idea.
Damn it.
Alright, I'm trying to figure out what the bad reviews are. I guess the ones without the tomato on it. You wonder how so much talent underwritten by such an obscenely large budget doesn't trigger more pathos. That's a weird one. The entire tone of the film felt like a eulogy to the MCU and relied too heavily on weepy-eyed nostalgia and fan service moments to carry it to the end. It's a pretty good one. It's official, we've been had. Maybe it's the best that the children enjoy their party. Ooh, there's some more nasty special effects. Going back to the horror show here. Okay. Bryon James, fucking baby. Ooh.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
With a spectacularly unjustified running time of 182 minutes, the film finds room to pack in just about every kind of tonality that a Marvel film has ever trafficked in. Convolution. It is an escalator to nowhere rather than a definitive endgame. Chris Hemsworth walks off with the 3-hour cameo extravaganza. The talking rodent comes in second. Doesn't anybody deserve to die? It's a pretty good one. Oh no, we can actually review a Star Wars film. What about that Solo movie? I'm sure that's got some pretty bad ones.
Everybody I know thought it was the greatest thing I'd ever seen. I personally don't think Woody Harrelson can act his way out of a fucking paper bag, but, what do I know?
Solo, a Star Wars movie. No, the reviews are pretty bad. Let's see. Let's see.
I think other people watch stuff, though, and they don't really know what they're watching, so they just tell everybody they liked it just to sound relevant.
Oh, shit. Like a never-ending video game, mission after mission is introduced, giving the protagonist continuous obstacles to overcome. The feature just jogs awkwardly on a treadmill for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Its only breathing moments reserved for readjusting its socks. Shit.
It's pretty funny.
It's annoyingly responsible for staining the iconography of Han Solo. This one says, just watch the originals. A murky, useless, pandering mess of bad ideas. That's a pretty good one.
See, the movie should have been good. I mean, Ron Howard directed it. He did Willow. And Richie Cunningham on fucking Happy Days, and then he just made that steaming hot pile of poo.
When we have to go through the scenes with emotional depth, the film loses its pulse. Survives on nostalgia and good faith rather than telling a story that brings new ingredients to the recipe. Solo is a spiritless movie for a brave character.
There was a girl last night at the grocery store when I went that had the most perfect ass. I wanted to eat it like a fucking apple. Like it was perfectly shaped and everything. I mean, it was perfect. It seriously was. Like, very rarely do I see the perfect ass on a woman. And she literally had the perfect butt. I was just like, wow.
That dude's head just exploded on a platter.
Yep. That's what my shirt has on. It's that head on the platter thing.
Ugh. Some people give it way too much credit.
I wanted to also tell you guys to check out Corey and I's grindcore band that we just started called Tech Noir. Our debut EP is coming out soon, so look out for Tech Noir.
Yep. It's actually pretty damn good.
What's that?
Tech Noir.
It is. That's our grindcore band.
Got a pretty banging 80s jackets. It's got fucking studs on them on the shoulders. And
we can't explain the name of that band to you, and we never will, but Tech Noir is the name of our grindcore band. Just know that. Copyright January 5th, 2021.
Yeah.
So, Tech Noir, our grindcore band. Speaking of things you should check out Godless Heathens, my other podcast that I do. The one that you guys don't know how to hit a fucking like button or subscribe button on. What you do is you just take your mouse and or finger and just hit like or subscribe with your finger. It's really easy to do. So, if you could do that, you know. And don't leave Christian Vasquez or whatever his name is, the only one that can hit a like button. So just hit the like button and the subscribe button with your finger, and then you can find out everything that I'm doing on that podcast if you're interested.
Yeah, you can just subscribe on Spotify.
And, you know, if you're not interested, that's fine too. You can go fuck yourself.
You can go on there and subscribe. And
speaking of which, do you have a way of checking? I know, you know, we're doing this live right now, but whatever. Are we on, is Apple running yet for people listening? Or is it still fucked?
No idea.
Fantastic.
Let's see. Do not see it on there.
Great.
They just said fuck you and they don't want your podcast on their network.
I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know how to fix it, so.
I have no idea. It is uploaded on there. They actually take their sweet ass time to review it, the podcasts, I guess. So I don't know. It didn't take this long for any of the other ones.
You think we have to resubmit it, or?
Shouldn't have to.
It doesn't matter anyway. Nobody knows how to hit a goddamn like button, so I guess it was pointless for me to even do it to begin with. Because no one knows how to hit a fucking like or subscribe button.
It says submitted for review. That's all it says. I'll hit a like button. Still don't get no Trump money either. If any fans got that already, you can wire it to my bank account or a doctor's bank account. That'll be good.
Yeah, money's always good.
Right, can I have Max here? Just come hack you up from the dead. Old Bryon James. He is cool as a slasher character, killer, whatever the fuck he is, supernatural killer guy, ghost demon guy.
You know, I was thinking about something recently. People that have everything or acquire everything or whatever, one day you will lose everything. You know, it's like sand in an hourglass, like it's eventually going to get turned over and then it's going to start pouring down the other way. And you're going to go down the tube with it, with the sand. You're going to fall to the bottom, even though you were initially on the top. I just want to let a lot of people out there know that if you're riding high at some point, that sand, that hourglass can get turned over on you. And when it does, your entire world will turn upside down, and then all the sand is going to go out of the top into the bottom.
Something like that. You can end up like Bryon James here. Even after he came back from the dead, he's still getting shot and stabbed and electrocuted again. He's just a bloody heap full of glass shards. He looks real gross. The whole time you don't really feel like he's really there or not, and he's making Lance Henriksen's character kill people. You can't really tell if he's just crazy or not, which is part of the story, I guess. But safe to say in this moment, I guess he's really there, and he's really killing him again, or something. Oh, that's weird. House for sold. So is Bryon James really dead? That's the question.
I guess this movie's called House because Bryon James haunted their house. It makes no fucking sense. Some hack at a fucking movie studio that thought he was being clever in Europe.
Like, actually, we're going to go ahead and do it. Even though in America, where this was made, they didn't want to do it. Like, they wanted to do their own thing and not have it lumped to some franchise that this didn't fit with. Really just wanted to make money off of a franchise that already existed instead of making something different. Which is cool.
Right. I mean, over here it was released and done right. It was in Europe where they fucked up. So
yeah. But it's cool they had a choice then. Where it's like, maybe we should do that.
Because of the commercials, it's made this movie like 2 hours long, which is fucking stupid.
Yes, this movie's only like an hour and a half.
And that's why my phone's almost dead. I'm telling you, it's because of these goddamn ads.
But oh, look, there's a cat in the box. The fuck is that?
Lula. 5 years of doing this, and it's the weirdest thing because that music and that ending just does not fit that film.
Let me hear it.
Well, it's horrible.
Should be at the end of like an actual House movie, because that's really strange.
But yeah, after 5 years of doing this, and it's like it's funny because I've loved doing it. I'm glad we still do it, but sometimes it just feels, it's very anonymous. It's like farting in an envelope and mailing it. Like who's smelling the fart and who opened the envelope, you know? I don't know. That's a really bad analogy, but I'm just saying it's just weird, you know? It's bizarre, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Who's smelling the fart of Phantasm?
I don't know.
Final thoughts? Movie's really good. Surprised I've never seen it before. It was a lot of fun. I like Bryon James, Lance Henriksen. Definitely not a House movie. Didn't feel like one, wasn't like comical or anything. It was very dark and gory, so it was good. Enjoyed it.
I love it. I've always liked it. I mean, I know it's not a space western, but I really like it. I think it's a good movie. And I knew you would like it because at the beginning of the movie, Bryon James has a Mets hat on, so.
Yeah, I knew immediately that, okay, if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much, but...
Right, which is why you like Navarone, because at the beginning of season 1, Baby Yoda has a Mets hat on, so...
That's exactly why.
It's creative marketing. It's very smart to do that.
Yeah.
You know, like the other day, Jens didn't want to go, wheelchair trucker rather, he didn't want to go into the store with me. And I was like, you should. The cashier has got a new order shirt on. So he went in. Sometimes you just have to tell people that, Like I was out with Cody Lamone on New Year's Eve, and he was like, yeah, I don't really want to eat at that restaurant. And I was like, I think you'll really like it. You should try it. Besides, the guy working inside there has got a Sony PlayStation 5 hat on. So he went in. So sometimes you just have to have that type of stuff to get people to understand it,
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, 100 episodes in, it feels like a lot more. I feel like we've done a lot more than that. Which I know we have. I mean, it's... Should it really feel like it's anywhere further than what it should be? I mean, maybe.
Some of our guests are amazing people. We've had some amazing guests on here.
Right,
I'm enjoying. I hope we keep doing this. I enjoy doing it. We'll have a lot of new guests this year, hopefully. I've enjoyed doing this with you. I'm glad we started doing it. And 100 episodes. Dr. West has been raunchy today. 100 episodes.
And thanks for listening. 100 episodes, hopefully. If this is your first one, then stay fucking cool.